Hey everybody, welcome to AJS News. This is the first of 2 videos we've got for you today.
But first, a word from us. Hey, subscribe. What's up, man? If you enjoy the show, hit the subscribe button. Maybe considering support us on Patreon or YouTube partners. And thank y'all very much for allowing us to do what we do. Obviously, we're sponsoring ourselves on today's episode. So let's get and dive into the gaming goodness. What the heck? And we're all back. Hey, the three of us are back. So what has been happening in gaming news, Alex, over the past week?
After the lull of last week, everything happened this week, so there's a ton of stuff. There was a game that came out like 20-something years ago called Stronghold. And it was like you could build your own castle, and like all these armies would raid you, and you could feel like you put pitch all over the fields and have one archer with a flaming arrow light all of them on fire. It was kind of crazy. Well, it's getting a remaster. And so it's coming out. Steam Workshop support.
Never got to play it. There was some recent ones that we were flirting with, but we just never ended up going in. So interesting.
Yeah, so there was an HD version released in 2013, but this is something that's different. They even got some of the original voice actors to come back. So
nice.
People who are a fan of medieval RTSs back in the day probably be pretty happy about this. There's an article this week about the Borderlands movie. It's something that they've been talking about making since 2015. There was a bunch of people involved. They finished filming a while back, but apparently they've been wanting to do some reshoots, but have to use a different director because Eli Roth is busy. And then now people are saying that one of the writers, Mason, who's one of the co-writers of Last of Us, has taken his name off the project. And so
that's not a good sign.
Using a pseudonym, and so Joe, he's listing his name as Joe Crombie instead of his actual name. So a bunch of people are just speculating right now, just going, man, what the hell is going on with this movie? I don't know. There's talented actors.
Yeah, but he wants to scrub his name off, and then they need reshoots.
Yeah,
a little worrisome, especially since it's been trying to get off the ground since 2015.
Yeah, and especially now it's a really tough time to get movies and stuff to make with everyone on strike, and so and Hollywood trying to give you $200 to use your face in perpetuity for all time, and it's crazy. So if you were
perhaps problems with the Borderlands movie, got it.
I got some awful news. Mobile games pull in $41 billion.
They're here to stay.
The first 6 months of this year. Just 6 months, $41 billion.
I thought you were going to say overall the 6 months.
Yeah, the first half of this year.
Yeah.
How do we reach these kids?
No, it's
too late.
Yeah, let it wash over you, and then just be an old man yelling at clouds.
But they're going to see this and be like, all right, we're going to incorporate this in the AAA games.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is that there'll just be less and less.
When we die off, Joe, we're going to hold the line as much as we can. And then once we die off, then there's nobody yell and scream at them except for our kids who are used to it. And then that'll be it. So enjoy gaming for the next
3 years.
30 years.
30? Ooh,
I think 30. I think we'll get good 30 years out of it. God dang it. All right, my laptop died.
Yes. Well, Apple reported, let's see, $24.6 billion on their platform. Now, that is incredible because Apple, as the ecosystem, they make like 30% on what's spent on there. So they're making 30% of that number, and they do nothing but sell you and the dumb people overpriced phones. And I don't. Okay. Google's at 16.6, so they're lagging behind. But
I hate Apple.
Yeah. So I would lift up all these games. You know all these games. Candy Crush, Honor King, all those other ones. So it's like whatever. I don't care. Makes me sad. Did you know that now you can get a haptic vest for the new Assassin's Creed game?
What?
Yeah, you can experience.
Get stabbed. You want to get stabbed?
Yeah.
Lord Touche.
You can get beat up, stabbed, axe, darts, severe abdominal wound. I'm waiting till they get the one that lets you feel not just the physical discomfort, but I need
Emotional?
the massive disappointment from playing a modern Ubisoft title because those games are absolute garbage. So
It plays sad music.
So how much is the suit?
Womp
Does it say how much the suit is?
I don't know. It's like $500. Yeah,
$500,
$500.
and it's just for this game.
No,
well,
it's a haptic.
but it's a vest that's tailored around this one, so you can feel like that one guy that.
No, because I want to jump off buildings and see how that feels.
Yeah. They said one that has like get shot and experience one with an exit wound. It's like, why would I want that? Like, we're not playing 50 Cent Blood in the Sand.
Yeah, but all of these are just light rumbles. Shut up, experience exit wound. That's
What do you
just,
want? Real
So if
piercings?
you get
Like,
shot in the front, then they'll add an effect that mirrors in the back that just does
yeah,
the
the
same
reviews
thing.
be like, "This is too realistic." I started bleeding from my back.
Yeah. If you die in the game, you die in real life.
You know what? We make fun and we laughing because it's Assassin's Creed, but fuck it, I wouldn't mind trying it for say like a Call of Duty game, like when we're doing
I'd say
like
more
a,
like a VR, because
or on
just
VR,
playing it,
whatever.
nah.
No, even just playing, I kind of want to just see like it's like how many times can I not get shot, and so when I do get shot, I want to feel the shots and just to see. So I don't know. I like gadgets though. I have a weakness for gadgets. So yeah, but I would never, okay, I'm gonna go out and $500.
Paperweight.
It would
again.
have to tell. It would be another paperweight, even though I got a $600 paperweight. I still haven't moved it from in front of the G Fuel fridge. It's just sitting there in the middle of the walkway, and we just walk around it every day. We walk around it. You walk around.
As a
it.
reminder of our
Well, I don't know
failures.
where to put it. This is your place. Like, should I put it? Well, I don't want to put it.
The trash
anywhere
can's
you
one
want.
thing away.
Well, I don't want to put it on the seat because then when we
I'll
watch
put it-
movies, that's my
I'll-
seat.
I'll
I would
move
have to
it.
move it. Well,
PSVR 2.
Yeah.
$600 paperweight.
All right, Xbox Live Gold is ending after 18 years.
Whoa.
End of an era.
End of an era. I beta tested Xbox Live on the original Xbox. So let me have a moment of silence.
they're
for
not
my
gonna
gaming
start
memories.
overcharging.
Do you not know a
are they?
moment of silence work?
Well, I'm not. Now I'm just curious.
It's
It's
no
like,
respect.
no respect
No
these kids.
respect.
they're gonna start charging more.
That time that I actually
Are
played
they?
with Vin Diesel, and I'm not lying about this. I swear to God, I played with Vin Diesel, or a guy that sounded exactly like Vin Diesel during a marketing event at the studios.
Then I played Call of Duty with Arnold and Sly.
That was when his game came out. What was it? Athena? Something like that. There was a Vin Diesel game. It was like a pitch black game. I think there were multiples. But this one, he was online playing Xbox. Anyways, this was long, long ago when there was 100,000 of us on Xbox Live. I remember when I first started it up, there was like, I think you could even see the number. It was like 65,000, when it was first starting with all that old interface, the Blades interface, if anybody remembers that shit. Yeah, well, wow, how much things have advanced since then. Interfaces are so much better looking, depending on who you go to.
Some of them. Some of them.
Yeah, some of them. And
I love
we're all playing games together a lot easier. So, okay, well,
Depends.
always have a lot of mad respect for Xbox because, honestly, Xbox Live was revolutionary. It revolutionized the online console multiplayer space.
So in its place, Xbox Game Pass Core, it's going to be a cheaper version of the Game Pass service. And so you're still going to be able to play together, and there's going to be a curated selection of games to play too. And so...
But it's odd that... So Xbox Live Gold is going away, but it's effectively just a name change.
Kind
Isn't
of,
it?
yeah. So there's a couple subtle things, and there's one really shitty thing that, as much as we praise Xbox, there's one thing that I don't like. You'll be able to access games you've downloaded via games with the Gold program, but there's one catch. If you ever bought a bunch of Xbox One games, you'll need to remain a Game Pass Core or Game Pass Ultimate subscriber to keep to keep the games that you paid for previously. So 360 games, no matter if you bought them before via the Gold program, you get to keep them no matter what. But specifically for Xbox One games, you're gonna have to keep paying to get access to the things that you paid for. And this just seems like a really weird oversight. Like Xbox has been so pro-consumer about things, and this seems really shitty. Like
Odd. It's you could do it for that, but not for this. But why?
Yeah.
I guess
It's not a
because
switch that you can just turn off, Joe.
going, oh shit, here we go again. No, I think it's corporate. I think it's
Yes.
going to be like, it's a trend that going forward, we're not going to give you access to the shit that
Unless
you
you pay
got
some more.
unless you continue to pay.
Limited time stuff is definitely coming.
Digital content rights. You're not actually buying a game. What you're doing is you're signing a contract.
Getting access to for a short period of time before they go away forever. Now, most of the time, you'll never play any of these games, but some people, like every now and then, may want to go back and be like, you know that game I played a long time ago? And it's like, oh, wait a minute, I paid money for this. And they're like, well, it doesn't matter, it's gone. You don't get it.
Do you think if you got that core, you'll still get that first day Game Pass, or is it just gonna be on gold or ultimate, whatever they got?
Oh, so there's going to be, there's 3 tiers. So this
Yeah,
is
that's
now,
what I'm saying.
this
If
is
you
now.
get the cheapest one, will you get that new game when it comes out?
I've got a list of games that are going to be available immediately, but I don't see any of I don't see Starfield or any of the other ones. There's some big games on here, but it's looking like you're going to have the base level Game Pass unless they announce something, because if it's a cheaper thing, they want you to.
Yeah, that's what I kind of assumed. It's like, well, if you're gonna use that, then we're not gonna give you that.
Yeah. All right, speaking of another end of an era, Major Nelson is leaving Xbox after 20 years. He's been the director of programming, and he's oversaw the launch of Xbox One, 360, Xbox Live, and Kinect. So he just said that,
It's time to retire.
yeah, he's been there since 2001. He moved to the Xbox team in 2003, and then just spent 20 years working within the Xbox, community. So I don't believe he mentioned anything as far as like a next project for him, and maybe it's just he's been doing
He's
it.
done everything he wanted to.
Yeah, he's doing it. He's done it long enough, and it's his watch has ended, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Well, good luck.
We missed the FTC ruling by a matter of minutes. We had just we had just stopped recording. We had done everything, and the FTC
Last week.
Yeah, and so they were denied. The judges said, nope, absolutely not. There's no reason that you've given me that this merger shouldn't happen. And then the FTC wanted to appeal, and the court said, no, stop it. Just like, you're done. And so after their appeal has been denied, the FTC, at least in the United States, can't do anything to block this merger from happening. So I think we may be done with this section of this story. So
it's almost complete. What do we need?
It's almost complete. Now, some concessions had to happen, some things, and we'll get into all the other things. The only thing the FTC can do right now is let the merger happen, and then they can try to sue to get the companies to split up after, but they're like, that would be almost impossible for a deal that size. It would take years and years and years. So it's looking like this story and this section of the story is done. But Microsoft had to give up some stuff. And so Microsoft did have to sign something saying that Call of Duty, and just Call of Duty, will remain on the PlayStation ecosystem for at least 10 years. So it's a major win for Sony and PlayStation, because they wanted to make sure these games are like, hey, they're going to take these games away from us. And Microsoft's, no, we're not going to. When you tried to sell the game only on things like Battle.net, you saw a massive decline in your player base. Like, why would we limit how we get these games? That's not how we make money. So that signing went through. And it's looking like it's going to happen. Even in the UK, where we had talked about the CMA potentially trying to block it, they're in open discussions right now. They're not waiting for the appeal. They're not waiting for those things. But there was the CMA did say that they may take as long as to the August 29th. To make their final decision. And that's an important date, because if this goes beyond July 18th, Microsoft has to give $1 billion or $3 billion to Activision Blizzard, just cash, just for taking too long.
Jesus.
Yeah, and so they're like, hey, we when they set out, they're like, this will be quick. It's not going to be that big of a deal. And tell you what, I'll give you $3 billion if this runs late. So it's not looking like they're going to. And this, according to this article, it says that it is likely that Microsoft could attempt to negotiate with Activision and Blizzard. But I think Bobby Kotick, especially if he's going to be going away, he's like, nah, tell you what, you give me $3 billion.
Yeah.
And we'll do something like that.
So they have incentive to drag this process out?
Blizzard does, yes. Activision Blizzard does.
Are they? I wonder if they're actively working with Sony. Hey, tell them they can't do their merger, and I'll split $3 billion with you. That's just weird. I don't understand.
Yeah,
that.
I don't know why
I
they
think
said
there's
that.
something with that because I mean, this is the company you're merging with, and then they benefit if you don't do it quick enough, and then I mean, it's all legalese. Everything can be extended by months in court, and you get $3 billion. I mean, I don't know. That's weird.
Shady
But I'm
shit
glad it's
going
fucking
on.
finally over. Joe,
Almost.
let's get no, it's fucking over. It's
Almost.
fucking over.
Not.
If it's fucking
It's not
o-
100%.
Yes, it is fucking over.
Is it
If they've
100%?
got yes, it's 100%. Goddamn 100%.
Right
If
now.
they couldn't stop the fucking steamrolling train with all this, it's over. It's fucking over. The merger is happening. Fireworks, Joe. Launch the fireworks. Let's see some party streamers. I'll give you the effects later. Here you go. Woo! Woo!
We can do it. It's extended for another.
We don't have to talk
6
about it no
months.
more.
It's gonna be extended for
No,
another
it's
6
not.
months.
No, it's not. Because, number one, Microsoft will have to pay $3 billion to the person that they're buying, which doesn't make sense because then that money just goes back to them once the merger is complete because I own you. It doesn't make any sense. And then, number two, who cares what they say? I mean, if they couldn't get it done in the U.S., then they're not getting it done in the U.K., and it wouldn't matter because the merger would go through in the U.S., and nobody would give a shit about what the U.K. thinks. So
They did also, kind of more or less threaten the UK. It's like, you know who runs the security of your
I
whole
remember
goddamn
that.
country?
Yeah.
Do you remember? And it's like, it's me. Oh, shit. Okay. Well,
yeah, so if they like this, that was their best option is to like stall for as long as they could, and then try to get them to stop the merger under monopoly. But there's just so much money involved. It's almost $68 billion, right? Yeah, because they bought Bethesda for like cheap, like $7.8 billion, and then Activision's like, I want 7 times that, or I want 10 times that. And they got it.
It makes sense though, because Activision also owns King, and we were just talking about like how Candy Crush, one of the first we talked, like they make
the mobile game.
the mobile game stuff. It's like
Billions.
they talk about
Months.
Call of Duty on the PlayStation. They probably don't care. They talk
Yeah,
about
we look
Blizzard
at it from
games.
a gamer standpoint. They're looking at it from a mobile standpoint.
They're like, Call of Duty Mobile makes dirty, filthy fucking money. Candy Crush makes dirty money. When StarCraft 3 comes out and it's a mobile clicker game instead, and there's no soul in it, and like Blizzard has lit themselves on fire and it makes $500 million because you people can't help yourself, then
Diablo Immortal.
yeah, $500 million. And
Apparently, people did have phones.
Yeah, they did. So
You take away their phones.
They were right.
Stop fucking up.
Anyways, yeah. So okay, cool. The Activision. Now we'll probably get a few more news stories on it as things settle. But
Probably
that
just-
shit is That shit is merged.
yeah. So
With Sony's biggest complaint, oh, what about Modern Warfare? What about Call of Duty? They say, okay, here's a contract that says we're always going to keep Call of Duty on the motherfucking platform.
Tennis.
But that was what Microsoft was always willing to do because all they need to do is this is Call of Duty's boogaloo. Okay? When they do the spin-offs, when they go eventually and do the spin-offs, and they call it Call of Duty Legends, Call of Duty this, then they're free. They're in the clear.
how bad now? So if this is done, I've got some shitty questions for you guys, and I want some predictions. PlayStation has been a giant bag of dicks when it comes to Call of Duty things because they've been paying Activision to release early, specifically on PlayStation. How mad are people going to be when Xbox does exactly the same shit to PlayStation, saying buy it on Xbox and get it an entire week early, or the pre, like it'll be 3 weeks early for the beta, and you get a bunch of gun skins.
Will they remember that they had it a week early or a month early?
Yeah,
I think
they'd be
that-
like, see, this is exactly why I didn't want this
well,
merger.
yeah, we didn't want this to
Everyone's
happen.
gonna be, it's like a panic mode.
Yeah, and so I think that's what's going to happen is people are quickly going to forget that Sony had been doing all this stuff for the longest time. I mean, I don't care. I got a PlayStation. I'm paying on PC anyway. But
And we don't really fucking play on those stupid ass early maps anyway. I mean, we play. We're just
We'll just wait.
yeah,
we're not the mega fans of the Call of Duty franchise.
but I think they're going to be pissed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They'll be complaining now that the shoe is on the underfoot. And they're like, oh, well, now this is unfair. Oh, so it was fair the first time when it was unfair for us.
But now it's
But
happening.
now
to
it's
me.
unfair for you.
Yeah.
Now it's happening to me.
Oh, you sound like a...
How dare you? But, yeah. So, yeah. Hooray.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll see what they do. I think Microsoft knows better. They're going to, play it cool for the next, 5-7 years. Then after that, when everybody's forgotten and nobody's talking about it no more, then they're going to start, doing the Call of Duty spinoffs, doing the exclusives. But they know they have to stay cool for at least a little while because they almost had to pay billions or the merger not go through, et cetera, et cetera.
And now the next thing is who's Sony buying?
Um,
Retaliation. I'm going to come back.
I don't know. Do you think there'll be a retaliation?
Nothing anywhere near that size because there's just not that many things.
I just don't think they will. I don't think they will. No. I think they're just going to continue business as normal. There's not going to be a huge acquisition. And when I mean huge, like say Sony buying EA.
But EA's worth a lot less money than people think it's worth. Like I was shocked just to hear that. I was thinking.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Yeah.
It's worth like single digit billions, or maybe
instead
barely.
of the 70 billion that Activision could get.
Yeah. So, Sony loves their exclusives and their Insomniac and all those other ones. So, okay. Well, that's what I got for this one.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much. Hopefully you subscribe to the channel. Consider supporting us on Patreon if you'd like to see additional news, additional reviews, additional videos. We're also doing battle reports now, so it all goes to all of that. Thank you all so much for hanging out and watching. But we'll see you on episode 2. Bye, guys.